Okay, so this is assignment number 6, organizational practices in human services. So my assignment was to find an organization and research it and find out more about it. And I have a list of questions and sort of like bullet points to kind of figure out everything about the organization and then create a brochure. So I've created my brochure. I have it here in front of me. So I researched the United States Department of Health and Human Services, also known as the HHS. And in the brochure, I began with have my title, and then I have the website, www.hhs.gov. I have the locations located not in all, but not only Greensboro, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., and Roanoke, Virginia. Coincidentally, that's where I'm from. And pretty much I put in the mission statement, so the overall goal and intent is the United States Department of Health and Human Services, also known as the Health Department, is a cabinet-level department of the U.S. federal government with the goal of protecting the health of all Americans and providing essential human services. So that was it. I found that while doing my research, I found some other things like the headquarters and the number of employees. So there, in 2015, a statistic shows there were 80,000 employees that year. I'm sure it's a lot more. It's a steadily growing field. Now, I just couldn't find anything more up to date on that. But the headquarters are located in Washington, D.C. And with the United States Department of Health and Human Services, there are 11 operating divisions. These are more common to me, at least. These are more common. I've heard of a lot. Most of these. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. One of them were very interesting. I am very interested in is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. I did some research on that, kind of just outside the box, and I really like what they've got going on. But those are some of the operating divisions. There are 11 total. I just gave like 3. One more that might be a little bit more common is the Administration for Children and Families, the ACF. So those are just a few of the 11. So what are the types of clients that they work with? Is the it's just those who are in need or at risk of health or family issues. So some of the responsibilities, the staff job titles and qualifications. I couldn't find any titles per se besides like executives and administrative positions. Besides those two, there weren't many. Like I couldn't find any. I'm sure there are some, but the qualifications I found some on that. Of course, it'd be working with people. You don't need this, but it's very recommended that you have a bachelor's in a human services or psychology or anything of that nature, but you do not need a degree or any more education to work for the United States Department of Health and Human Services. As far as program activities, I couldn't find many things specifically as in activities, so I couldn't find any activities specifically or a schedule for those, but I did find what they do. It says that the responsibilities, the department has 3 main business responsibilities. So health and social care, which includes policy and legislation for hospitals, family practitioner services, and community health and personal social services. And then public safety as well. So that's pretty much an overview of the Department of Health and Human Services. As far as budget and funding and costs and everything. I found one source was very helpful. It says the budget proposes 87.1 billion in discretionary budget authority and 1.2 trillion in mandatory funding. So I'm just assuming that means 1.2 trillion in funding and 87.1 billion in the budget. So maybe I think that's in total because they have so many operating divisions, and all of them, all if not most, if not all, I'm sure are nonprofit. Not sure about that 100%, but I'm willing to bet. But my personal evaluation of this is I think that they do a lot of great things. There are 11 operating divisions. I know that all of them do well in what they do, especially the ones that most people have heard of, like the FDA, the NIH. I think that they do a great job of what they say they do, just helping people their with their health, with their family issues, with social care. I think they do really well with those. So that's pretty much what my brochure consists of, is the information I just gave you. So that is the United States Department of Health and Human Services.